Okay, thank you everyone for joining in on time, and I'm glad that you all are here. I hope everybody is doing well. So simply let's get started with our session. My name is Gourav Sharma and I'm from India. I work as a solution architect with Red Hat. So topic today what I chose is like confidence comes from knowing more. So, first of all, let me get started. I hope everybody is doing good. Your loved ones are safe, and everybody is absolutely fine at their end. Uh, COVID-19 has like stuck, and this is one of the things that we never have heard of, or I don't think so that we would be seeing. And I pray that in future we should not have such kind of a pandemic overall. So I hope everybody is doing good, and let's simply get started. So in the tough time, I would like to first of all thanks Anna and the entire Women Tech Global team who has made this possible that we are able to attend this global conference in a very smoother way. And let's our target of 100K challenge to reaching out to girl. Let's stand. So first of all, my thought that I stands together and wisely with the women because they are the true face of our society in terms of staying stronger and demonstrating the exact rights that what we should all have. So a great kudos to Team Anna and to the Women Tech Conference team that they have brought up together to unite this challenge, and we'll go here. So let's simply get started. So very first thing which I want to ask everyone is that what is open source? So this is somewhere like a buzz in the market that what open source is. So if you about these two words, open and source, so you will have this entire thought into a single word. What does this open means? So basically open means that you are flexible, you are free to opt, and source means what is that key ingredient or that key source to that. Let's take a small example to understand that what open source is. We know that earth is covered with more than 70% of the earth is covered with water. Now, the water is freely available. And second, the most important part is you can customize the water as the way you want to do it. More benefits come when you talk about that you can commercialize the water as well. Means you can tag your water, you can purify it, and in a different ways, you can sell it as well. Nobody is going to restrict you. You don't have any vendor lock-in that this water is mine. And that's what the beauty of open source is. It gives you a full freedom. It's give you full flexibility and give you the full rights that you can do anything the way you want to do. The second part, the technically, if we have to talk about in this tech world that what open source means. So open source means the software is distributed for free with accessible of source code. It is a community driven, means every single individual can contribute. It is reliable because people are contributing with different mindset and each and every single one who are unique and they are giving you a new thought to do it. Most time comes with the security, as I mentioned, that everybody is contributing. So security is also going to enhance as the way you want to do it. And also it is flexible. The way you want to use, you can use it. You have a freedom to access your code, access the entire source code, modify according to your wish, and it is freely available. On the other side, if you want to commercialize, you can do it at your own end. So that's what open source is all about. Now, when I say that what open source means to you or how the confidence can come to you as well, that in the tech field, you might be stand in a different standpoint in the market. You might belong to a development process industry. You might be from an application industry. You might be a system admin who does a lot of deployments. You might be from an application infrastructure. Now, thing is, if I categorize all these four pillars into different models, like you might be in your organization, you might be struggling to adopt the DevOps architecture in the development processes, or you might be having a monolithic architecture, you are trying to convey it to microservices. Or on the other hand, today the world is talking about the containers. Google is using the containers, or I should say each and every single major disruptors in the market, they are using containers. Or if you talk about today, nobody is talking about the physical data center, though they are the backbone, they are the footprint, but everybody is talking about the cloud. So where do you stand? So we have to categorize ourselves first that in which area, whether it is monolithic application, whether it is microservices, whether it is data center admin, or you are a cloud architect, whether you are working on the physical servers or you are provisioning the containers. That's the most important part. And from there, you have to dig deep inside that where you do it. Now, the most major part comes, most of the diverse people always talk about coding, but I'm on the other side that I don't love coding. So what do we have? My first question comes, do you know Linux? Because I personally believe that Linux is something that every single individual should know, whether you are a developer or whether you are an admin. You should be knowing what Linux is all about. Then if you see a briefer history of Linux, in 1991, Linus Torvald, the man of himself, that he has given us the beautiful part which is called kernel. And I'm going to share you some of the statistics that why Linux is way more important. It is freely available. It is like governed by the communities, and also you don't have any vendor lock-in that anybody can come and anybody can use. So what about you people, that you guys have started using Linux or not? Let's dug about. So this was the thing which I changed my entire life, and today I'm sitting here is proudly because of this fact. Linux is everywhere. Now, how that simply says that Linux is everywhere. So when I shared this a particular slide, then where we are talking about that, where you stand in the market, thing is, to understand the power of anything, you have to dig deep inside. As somebody rightly said, beauty never lies on the surface. Pearl always evolves in the depth. So you have to dig deep inside that what Linux capabilities are. So now let me share you some of the facts that how Linux is so powerful and more important for a developer, for an admin, or for every single individual role in the IT. Linux runs smarter. So what it helps the world to run smarter. If you see 99% of the world's supercomputers are running on Linux. 1.4 billion active users are using the Android mobile phones, which are the backbone and which their footprints lies on Linux itself. 80% of all stock exchange relies on Linux. And on the other side, if you talk about that New York Stock Exchange is also powered by Linux. So that's the very important statistics that your world economy holds by the Linux operating system. Now, even this court has like today's boom that Linux has gone nowhere where the man has gone before. So 32 space mission has been completed by using the Linux capabilities. NASA's Curiosity rover has also explored Mars that runs on Linux. Most important part comes about few days back when SpaceX launches Dragon aircraft, which is also powered by Linux. So that's the important goal that where the Linux capabilities are going to. Even Linux is helping in transforming the transportation. So if you see the Queensland motorways, one of the most busiest smart management of traffic in London, it is running on Linux. Linux also helps the bullet trains in Japan to run smarter. Also, the US air traffic, entire 100% US air traffic runs on entirely Linux. Some of the major highlights of air traffic, if I have to share, Emirates runs on Linux, Etihad Airways runs on Linux, Lufthansa runs on Linux, Indigo runs on Linux, Air India runs on Linux. So there are a lot of like these major, you can say air traffic or air transportations runs on entirely on Linux. Some more interesting facts, swimming the seas with Linux. Even Linux also helps 1.2 million nautical miles powered by wave glider in ocean robot to detect about the condition if tsunamis are there. So all kind of oceanography, or I should say predictability, can also be done by using the Linux operating system. And it lies as a very basic footprint for every single individual to identify that. Now, let me share one very smart effect which everybody can correlate over here. So if you see, Linux is big in Hollywood as well. So Titanic was the first feature film which was produced over on Linux servers. Means if I have to say, means if you are belonging to animations or visual effect industry, Linux helps to reduce a lot of computing hours. So if you see the least screws over here, it took 9100 computing render years to produce Lee Screws, and we can understand that we are like some of us might be a fan of Lee Screws, or at least we can understand the power of Linux. It gives you that how Lee Screws can be identified, and it just simply solved in just few minutes. Then also the big data to the big bang means today, if you talk about the multitasking, if you talk about the supercomputing, even if you talk about the cloud servers, every single thing has Linux as its backbone. If you talk about Google, Microsoft, Amazon, each and every single disruptors in the market are using Linux as their backbone. So now if you see what digital transformation is all about, digital transformation is not only adapting the technology in all area. Digital transformation also means that entire organization or an individual need to adapt a cultural change which can help you to get fix your failure as soon as possible, and also you get comfortable with the innovation. So that's how the big data can be also managed with a big bang and with the ease of Linux. If you see on this side also, Linux helped IBM Watson analyze 200 million pages of clinical data in just 15 seconds. So that is a very good data to be shared. Means just 200 million pages, and within just a couple of seconds, you get the entire data structure. So that's very much important, the power of Linux lies. Now, if you see this particular slide, that company who are using Linux, or I should say the company which I work for, Red Hat Linux, these all are some of the brand names which we are always around us. Means like even if I talk about NASA, Tesla, Google, IBM, Microsoft, Axis Bank, BSNL, Mahindra, Datacom, HDFC, XYZ. So communication, whether it is healthcare, whether it is telecommunication, each and every single industry is using Linux as their backbone. So interesting opportunity comes when Bill Gates came up with this quote when he was driving the Tesla and Model X, and it says that Microsoft love Linux as it helps to make Azure, the Google, or I should say, sorry, the Microsoft cloud bigger and better. So this is the most important quote, and it transformed the entire industry that Windows also love Linux. And that's the power of Linux you should have. So if you are belonging to a known coder background, or if you are a college graduate, or if you want to get more diversified in your company or in your organization where you are working, start learning Linux. So you know that now the backbones, your applications you are creating, the data you are processing, at the back of the mind, it is running on Linux operating system only. What I did was, like yesterday, I did a survey. If you are working from India, and if you see the software engineer field, I did a research on LinkedIn, and I could see that software engineering in India have this much of demand, means 10,672. That's a huge number to be found. They are looking for the jobs, or there are this much of jobs. And I guess I need not to even tell now that what kind of numbers you can think across the globe. When you know Linux, you cannot be anytime jobless. And also the data post or date posted was, I searched for anytime, and the posting you can correlate is 77K. So there is a very huge number the people are looking for, whether it is Amazon or whether it is in the computer software field or whether it is IT. People are looking for the professionals who know Linux, who are up to date, who knows how the digital transformation work for the industry. And even if I talk about it, is not just a one type of job that you are looking for. It is a numerous things that Linux supports, whether it is artificial intelligence, whether it is IoT, whether it is cloud computing or DevOps, or it is machine learning. Every single thing is looking for the Linux operating system. Most important part, the LinkedIn Learning did the survey in 2020 that what will be the most common skill sets. So if we divide about in the hard skills, or if we talk about the soft skills, so soft skills is the personal part that we'll just keep as a side. But if we talk about the hard skills, blockchain, cloud computing, artificial intelligence, or these things comes on the very top, and they all are powered by the Linux operating system. So I encourage you to dig deep dive and take it further. So as I mentioned about this data, if I have to summarize, is Linux is a core skills for all IT professionals. It's not restricted that only known coders can do it, only admins can do it. It will be surrounded by every single individual out there. Anybody can take the benefit, and anybody can go and happen to be a Linux user. So my question to you is, are you prepared for the disruptions? Are you disrupt or be disrupted? What the way you want to adopt for? It is always need to understand that there requires a balance when you do innovation. So it is not going to help you if you are sticking to a single field. Try to explore more, and you be the disruptor in the market. Don't hesitate, just keep moving forward, and it is endless sea that you can explore. So Linux, it started from 1991 and still it is growing like anything. New features are incorporating, and the new powered Linux operating systems are also helping the developers and the admins to collab together and bring a new culture which we are correlating as DevOps. So when I talk about the community approach, it is very much important to understand that what is the product development model. In the market, there will be like lakhs and thousands, or I should say a number of projects available, which are open source, people contribute to it and they do it. So what's that methodology or the community hygiene you should be prepared for? You always need to make sure that you are participating it, you are integrating the stuff, and also making stabilized to it. So it is always about the people approach, how you take it, how you participate into an individual project, how you integrate with the different technologies, and how you help that product to get stabilized and enterprise to use that particular product. So with respect of that time, I'm like limited to that. I'm open for question and answers. So this is my scan code. Do connect me on LinkedIn, share down the screenshots. If you have taken from me, just post it on my LinkedIn, do tag me, and let's connect to dig deep dive inside the Linux. So I'm open for question. Let me just check if there is any question for you and if I can answer some of them. Okay, is there any questions? Okay, let me just check it. No, so there is no question. So I hope everybody is good, and this you might find this session more valuable and that have changed some of the views that Linux is everywhere. And I encourage you guys to use Linux operating system and help to communities to grow together, whether you are a developer, whether you are an admin. Please guys, start using Linux, because that is going to make you a multi-skilled person out there. So thank you so much. If you have any question, I'm going to be more happy to answer. Okay, so there is one question from Edwig that I'm a dev leader. What can I do to get more involved in my team of developers? So Edwig, if you know about Linux operating system, can help you in scoping a lot of problems. Means if your applications are running on Java, or like I should say .NET or something, you can help them to evolve with the middleware portfolio. So middleware can help you in a lot, and that also runs on Linux operating system. And also you can try to bring DevOps culture in your organization, which can help you to stay ahead of the industry. Most important part is when I talked about where do you stand in the market. Thing is, today worlds are talking about containers. So if you are a dev leader on the development side, make sure that your team is now developing the apps which are container ready, because containers are lightweighted and they are also nothing but you can say lightweighted VMs, or VMs are nothing but then again Linux. So it is going to help you. It is going to give you a faster view to reach to the market and help you to, I can say, reach the customer with a better satisfaction result. So that's very much important. Okay. And Ayushi Gupta, thank you so much, Ayushi, for sharing this part that I switched to Linux a few years before and I am loving it. I'm into a deep learning. Thank you so much, Ayushi, that I'm being a Linux lover. I'm very glad to hear that particular part. And yes, deep learning is again one of the most trending technologies right now running out in the market. And it is going to be on a very fast scale moving. And Linux is going to give you a very good scale to reach your things. And also to Edwig, do connect me on LinkedIn so that we can stay connected. And let me just share my barcode again if you guys are here, so that you can connect me. Just scan this code and you will be able to reach out to me very soon. And okay, one question is more there. Do we need to have deep learning of programming to work on Linux? No, you don't require any kind of programming skills to start using Linux. It is very much simple. Nowadays, even the new Linux flavors are also coming up with the web consoles. Means even a window guy won't feel any difficulties to switch their streams into the Linux. It is very much easy. Just on a click, you can start. And as I can understand that, yes, at the beginning, you might find difficult, but with the time you just start using it, you are going to love it, because that is the most important part, that you are going to have it. So you don't require any coding skills to just get started. It is very much easy. And for even if you want to get started and if you're feeling issues, do connect me on LinkedIn. I can share you the links where you will find very much easy. We can connect offline and I'll be more happy to answer your queries as well. What are the additional coding languages beyond Angular? So I guess, Edwig, there are like a lot of languages that you can learn in terms of when I talk about, I should say, uh, coding languages. It is C, C++, Java, Go languages coming out, or I should say, more importantly, nowadays, even people are talking about Python. So there are a lot of language, but just depends on your use case that how you want to address the things. Node.js is growing, React.js is very much there. And today's the trend always speaks about the full stack developer. So that is very much important. Now, depends on your platform that which you are using and how your application use case are. You can always have multiple dependencies, but always the underline, as I mentioned, it will be always the Linux, or even the servers are Linux. Yeah, thank you so much, Rudra, for your insight view on the same. Thank you so much, guys, for attending the session. Let's connect on LinkedIn, and great kudos to the team, Women Tech Network, for arranging this seminar for us, and we can just simply get connected to each other. Aishi, if you are new to Linux, getting started with the UI, then slowly learn the commands, then eventually you will love it. Yes, it is a one-side love. You just simply get installed and it is very much easy. Okay, Donna has mentioned that I'm interested in smart cities. Do you think Linux will play a big part in that? Yes, Donna, it is actually going to play a very important role, because the latest technologies which we are talking about in terms of implementation of smart cities, what we want is that with the less use of infrastructure, we want to reach more. So that optimal use of resources can only be done by using the Linux operating system, which is freely available. And also the community guidelines, which people are there to support you, is very much important, because that plays a very vital role in terms of innovation and getting the platform secured. So yes, there are a lot of projects going on in even India itself, which are powered by Linux. If you want some case references, I'll be more happy to share you. You can just connect me on LinkedIn, and I'll be more glad to just share down the thoughts on that. Means I'm also a community leader. I work in a lot of community events, whether it is Fedora or Ansible or some of the non-profitable organization. I share my views. I work as a solution architect. So there are multiple roles that I play, and I'm more glad that I'm a community leader for some of the organization, and they are going to help me to understand that what community approach are, and that exactly leads to the digital innovation or the era we are talking about today's days. Yeah. If you have any other questions, I'll be more glad to answer, guys. Though we are up with the time slot, I hope you have your more calendars blocked. So I was provided with just 20 minutes. I hope that I am justified to that 20-minute time. And thank you all for being here. Let's connect and let's make this world a proper, open, adaptable approach. That's what we are talking about. Thank you so much, everyone. Have a nice day. Have a great conference ahead. Stay safe, stay indoors, and be blessed.